What to do when you have an intense feeling of heartache? That's what we're going to discuss in this video. I'm a relationship therapist and I help people dealing with breakups sometimes. It's very hard to let go of a past relationship. It's very hard to grieve a relationship. I will explain in this video why it's so hard, the different strategies and things you need to do if you want to move on, if you want to feel better. Jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, what is a heartache? It's a deep emotional pain or sorrow, and it's triggered by a loss, right? Usually a loss or a disappointment. The idea that we had something, the idea that we had this construct in our head, the relationship, the future, the project, and everything was taken away from us. And it's this idea of, sometimes people explain this as like I was jumping into a void, inside a void, and like all the world was collapsing underneath my feet. The reason I'm making this video and the reason you're probably watching this video is because the symptoms can be really affecting your daily life. Of course, you can be sad, longing, crying, chest in pain, loss of appetite. You have also people struggling to sleep or sleeping too much. These depression states, very often you can't go to work, you can't really engage with people. So it's really the worst, one of the worst things that could happen in people's life in terms of driving your daily life. And that's why it's important for you to learn about healing and to learn about self-love. And we're going to discuss this in 2 minutes. First of all, acknowledge your emotions. There's nothing wrong being sad. Remember this, there's nothing wrong being sad, crying, it's okay. The reason you are expressing those things is because you're a human being, so accept the fact that you're a human being. It's okay to feel sad and hurt. If you need to cry, cry. It can be cathartic. A lot of people, they withhold, they are like bottled up their emotions. It makes things even worse. So it's also about acknowledging what you've lost and how it's affecting you. The problem when we are sad, when we are depressed, is that either we decide not to look at the emotion, we suppress those emotions, or we let those emotions take the lead. It's really about deconstructing those processes, and that's what we do in therapy. Deconstructing those mechanisms between the belief system, between the actions, those thoughts, the emotions. It's also about accepting that this is temporary and this is a part of human experience. I don't know anyone who's been heartbroken who stayed like this forever. It's temporary. My job is to make sure that this stage is as short as possible and we get back on our feet as quickly as possible. But it's really about, by actually analyzing, being more mindful of your emotions, you don't want to do it because you don't want to face the pain, you don't want to deal with the pain. But by doing that, trust me, you'll be able to deconstruct and move away, distance yourself from the situation. So obviously, seek support. It's something, and I know heartache can push us to feel isolated, not to connect with people, not to trust with people, not to open up. The problem is that the answer is with social connection. The reason you're suffering is because of a broken bond. And you can, I'm not saying that you will get back what you lost if you're seeing your friends or your family. It's going to be different, but that will help. So it's important to seek counseling or therapy if needed. You can engage in, find support group communities. Could be things like, if you have a hobby and do a collective sport or something like that, you can do these things. It's very important. If there's something you need to understand here in this video or to remind, is don't isolate yourself. That's the worst thing you can be doing. I know if you're watching this video, you're on your own, at home, at work, driving, wherever, and you're learning and you're trying to learn and you're trying to get the keys of your happiness, and that's great. But this shouldn't be the only solution. It's actually not the most important way to help you out. I'm saying this, I'm making those videos, but I know, as a matter of fact, that watching my videos is a nice to have, but it's not necessarily the must have if you want to feel better. So Well, if you want to feel better, engage in self-care. It's something that most people get wrong. It's about having a daily routine. It's about engaging in activities, in hobbies, things that bring you joy. Breakup, extremely difficult. You've lost a lot of things in the process. But there are things in your life that you enjoy. Maybe it could be simple things like cooking, could be like exercising, going for a run. Maybe it's something that you've always wanted to do. Why don't you do it now? Why don't you? And don't tell me I don't feel like it. I'm not motivated. I don't want to get job. Action, the motivation comes after action. Okay, so if you don't feel like it, do it. Trust me, you'll be motivated to do it afterwards. Another element about self-care is mindfulness and meditation. Again, these will help you to be more in tune with yourself, with your emotions, and understanding again those mechanisms, those triggers, the things that are triggering you to feel depressed or feel sad. With also meditation, you also rebalance because it's very mechanic. When people have anxiety attacks, for example, by breathing in and out for 5 seconds, you breathe in 5 seconds, you breathe out 5 seconds. It affects your brain. You do that for 1 minute and you feel automatically better. So it's very important, and people feel like, I don't have time, I have work, I don't feel like it. Trust me, just try to do it and you'll feel better. Eating well, getting enough sleep, it sounds obvious, but I'm saying it because most people don't do it properly. They feel like, okay, I have this pain and I need food, comfort food, and I'm gonna go into my storm eating sort of habit or behavior. That's not gonna help you feel better. You're gonna feel actually guilty about having had this meal like in 5 minutes or something like that. Okay, so respect yourself, trust yourself, understand that in a way, feeling better after what you're going through is kind of as if you were working on a project. So plan this. Look at the things that you're doing right now that are not working for you. Look at the things that you need to implement in your life. What would be sort of goals? I need to exercise once a week. I need to go out every day. I need to stop eating junk food. So list the things that you want to implement. And trust me, by having a list, by having some sort of goals, that will also help you feel sort of driven by a form of purpose. Will it bring your ex back? Will it bring the love that you've lost? No, but that will help you to love yourself and enjoy life. As simply as enjoying life. Because there's not always, and the problem with breakups is that we tend to focus our attention on our partner, whereas like when we're in a relationship, we don't focus our attention on our partner. So it's very important for you to look at how you can take care of yourself. The person you lost, you might not be able to replace that person, but you are you, and there's no way to replace you. Okay, you have to stick with you for the rest of your life. So remember this, it's important. It's important as well in terms of heartache, but also in every areas in your life. Okay, it's important. Redirect your focus to self-love. So as I said, and I think it's a bit repeating, treat yourself with kindness and respect. I know it's important, I know it's difficult, but sometimes we feel like, I'm not good enough, No. Treat yourself with respect. There's also ways for you to build self-esteem and confidence. I've made some videos, I've created some workshops that you can access on my portal as well. Maybe you can write a list of your strengths and achievements to rebuild that confidence. Anything around personal growth and development. It's the idea that you don't want to stay or feel stuck as if you're in that place and you're never going to be able to move out of this place. And that's the problem when people are suffering heartache. They feel like this will be like this for the rest of my life. And it's not. It's temporary. And the quicker you are planning your life to change things within yourself, within your environment, the quicker you'll feel better. It's very important. Another element, and if you want to read something, read Letting Go from David Hawkins. Accept that some things are beyond your control. So I'm very much a stoicism stoicism practitioner, in the sense that you have to accept that there are things you can't control, and you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, you're wasting emotional bandwidth focusing on things you can't control. The things that are in the past are in the past. You are responsible for the present, you are responsible for what you do right now, and that will affect your future. So it's about practicing forgiveness for yourself and for others. Have a look at this book, it's a great book. It's a great book, and it helps you, again, distancing yourself. Very, very often people are stuck in the past. Again, we are in that prison, in that place where we feel like it's going to be the same forever, and the past will dictate my future. No. What dictates your future is what you do right now. It's not the past. We don't care about the past. And I know it's hard to let go of the past. So letting go is a very important process if you want to feel better. Moving forward with purpose. The problem that we have when we lose a relationship is we lose some kind of purpose. I mentioned that at the beginning. And that's why I think setting professional, personal goals, having a sense of drive is extremely important. And when you do so, celebrate small achievements, celebrate small wins. You want to get more fit. Okay, let's break it down to SMART goals. I want to exercise 3 times a week. And then if you show up at the gym and you just say 5 minutes, well, celebrate, because before that you wouldn't even go to the gym. You wouldn't even go to the treadmill for 5 minutes. And 5 minutes is better than nothing. So celebrate this. It doesn't matter. Don't blame yourself like, oh yeah, I haven't done like the 30 minutes of high intensity training or the CrossFit thing. I'm really bad. No, it doesn't matter. You're better than anyone who stayed at home on their sofa. Okay? If you go to the gym for 5 minutes, you're better than 90% of people, because most people, they stay at home and they do nothing. I don't know if it's 90%, but you're actually better than everyone who stayed at home on that day. Remember this. So it's always about, and I think there's this element, sometimes people who are a bit anxious, who have lost confidence after a breakup, they feel like, I'm not good enough. And they feel like, I need to do something huge to feel better. No. To feel better, it's about doing something that brings you joy. And when you feel that you're progressing, the problem is the same with New Year's resolution. We have high expectations. Extremely, the goals for the New Year's resolutions are extremely stretching us too much. And what happens is after 3 weeks, we forget. We don't do it because it's too difficult. Right now, I don't care about the end goal. I don't care if it's about losing 10 kilos, 20 stones, whatever. You should break it down as action. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to go out with my friends. It's really about actions. And what happens after, we don't control it, right? It doesn't matter. But the idea is showing up is way more important. Showing up and celebrating those successes. Feeling a kind of progress. Again, we don't want to stay stuck in that place for too long. So find the drive, find the tools, the resources to feel the progress. That's what we do. That's what I do with my clients. I have clients on WhatsApp, and if you're interested, have a look in the description, where they have a hard time dealing with the breakup. And what I do on WhatsApp, and that's why WhatsApp is a great tool, is that I can assess daily. Sometimes I don't necessarily write to them every day, but daily, and when they need me, and show them, okay, where were we last week? And I can track, because we're in touch every day. Where were we last week? Oh, we were there, okay. So you made progress. And are you feeling better? And we can track those things. It's really about the tracking. It's kind of a Apple Watch for well-being. When to seek professional help, because watching these videos is helpful, but maybe sometimes the pain is so intense, the state, you feel really stuck. Especially if you have thoughts of self-harm, of suicide, get in touch with people. It doesn't have to be me. If you want, and actually my advice is, if you want to get a counselor, a coach, a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, talk to them. I have 15-minute calls for people who want to know whether working with me will help them, whether they have questions. Don't start therapy with someone you don't know, you haven't met. Do a first session and assess whether that's the right person. Maybe it's kind of an interview different therapists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many you feel comfortable with, and just shortlist the one you're feeling great with. And then you stick with that person. Because by sticking with that person, by trusting that person to help you progress, you're not gonna feel better in one session. You might not feel better with 2 sessions, for example. People who go like, yeah, I've seen my therapist, it's been a month and I don't see any result. Maybe the therapist is not a great one, but don't assume that by seeing someone every once in a while, it's gonna really move the dial. It's gonna really help you feeling the progress. As part of my job, I went through therapy, and I trust you. Sometimes we feel like it's not leading anywhere, up until a point where you have this session which is like, oh, okay. And you realize that every single sessions that were before really helps you progress. Any question, anything you want to know, let me know in the comment section. Take care of yourself and don't stay alone. Shut down this video, call a friend, go to some nice place, treat yourself. You deserve love, and you also are the one that you need to love first. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
For a long time, get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.